Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. We started to head up in prices and then it dropped right back down. I think it was because of maybe job loss news or something like that. There's a lot that's going on that's in play right now. It says Trump claims, here's a Trump tweet from today. Jerome Too Late Powell should have lowered interest rates long ago. As usual, he's too late. I think that they're doing this because of what's said in this tweet by Paul Barron. Biggest economic lie of 2024-2025 is unraveling in real time. Credit card defaults just hit 2008 levels. But here's what nobody is talking about. This is happening while stocks hit all-time highs and unemployment only 4.2%. Something doesn't add up. The BLS just admitted they overstated job creation by 900,000 jobs over the past year. That's not a revision. That's nearly 1 million phantom jobs that never existed. Job creation also collapsed from 228,000 March 22 in August. 90% decline in 6 months. And here's the smoking gun. May jobs initially 144, revised 19K, minus 125K. June jobs initially 147K, revised to 13K. July jobs only 73K, missed expectations. August only 22K. Every month gets revised down, every single month. Meanwhile, credit lenders wrote off $46 billion Q1 to Q3 2024. That's 50% higher than 2023 and highest since 2010. Average credit card debt, 11K per household, average interest rate 22%. Bottom third of Americans have zero savings rate. The Fed knows this. Their own data shows 9.1% credit card balances transitioning to delinquency, but they're trapped. Cut rates, inflate asset bubbles further, keep rates high, consumer defaults accelerate. This is the definition of stagflation. I believe that all of this was faked to try to get Biden elected, and I think the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell were trying to help make that happen because he hates Trump. I think he's held off from raising interest rates for that same reason, but I don't think he has a choice anymore. Look at this. Trump Media Technology Group has closed its purchase agreement with Crypto.com. That can't be anything but bullish for crypto. Check this out. This is an interesting video. These guys are talking about Ripple and the Fed Master Account application.
You know, when you look at Ripple, they decided that they didn't want to take a chance. So they've decided to go down in a dual track process of one, pursuing a national trust bank charter and direct access to the Federal Reserve payment infrastructure. And this allows them to not rely on outside banks and to have the platform and send the reserve straight through the Fed. I mean, this just kind of is a next level approach. It didn't surprise me that they took this approach. It surprised me that they took this approach in parallel with each other.
And I would say it also doesn't surprise me now in retrospect, but it does surprise me how soon this happened, to your point, Ted. And I think it just shows that the digital asset market is taking an aggressive stance right now, as they should, based on the current regulatory environment.
Well, and the announcement came out maybe hours, maybe a day after the SEC was officially completely squashed. The lawsuit with the SEC was officially just terminated. So I thought that was also another piece that came into play. Bob, you touched on it a little bit, and I'd love for you to kind of just give a little bit of a clear outline to how Circle's approach is different than the way that Ripple is approaching it.
Well, in terms of the technical architecture, Circle USDC is now live on multiple blockchain networks. Started on Ethereum, it's now live and operational on probably at this point over a dozen different blockchain networks. Our LUSD resides on Ripple's network. And so that's a key distinction, I think underscores the point you made, that Ripple's approach is to really try to control, seems to be to really try to own and control the infrastructure at every angle of these offerings.
You mean like an infrastructure bank?
Taking it so far as to attempt to gain access to a master account at the Federal Reserve, that's a huge distinction between the approach that Circle is taking, at least for now. And it will be really interesting to see what that journey looks like for Ripple. As you know, a couple of years ago, I believe it was around 2022, 2023 period, we had another major bank that sought access to an account at the Federal Reserve master account and failed in that endeavor and went through a lot of legal processes to try to appeal that decision and ultimately failed. And so this will be the second time that we see a digital asset native company attempting to gain access to a master account at the Federal Reserve. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out with the new environment that we're in. And coming back to Circle, the competitor, it'll be interesting to see if they take a wait and see approach to that, or if they begin to take steps to also seek to obtain a master account at the Federal Reserve and view that as a competitive advantage that they think they need to have.
Ripple's been playing chess while everybody else has been playing checkers. Now, remember this little clip that I played from this Bitcoin maxi?
Yeah, like if you look at XRP, it's always kind of topped out around that 0.9 to 1 risk level. And it's already gone to 0.8 to 0.9 risk. But to give you an idea, I would say that the best case scenario for XRP, assuming Bitcoin goes on a parabolic rally in Q4, best case scenario, as far as I see, is going to be like somewhere between $5 and $7, right? And I know that's going to hit people like a brick wall to hear that, especially if they're looking for a much higher XRP price. But people have to take into account market cap and whatnot. And I'm not trying to make the rules here. I'm just saying, look, based on what XRP has historically done, and assuming we have diminishing returns and whatnot, like that would be the price.
So market cap, which he doesn't understand, I'll remind him of this tweet from Zach Rector not too long ago. XRP multiplier update. During the 30 minutes while Powell was speaking, we saw only 30.73 million of net inflows to XRP. This made XRP's market cap jump by $15 billion, a 488 times multiplier. Thank you for staying locked in. He's exactly right. Look at this. Ripple Swell agenda is now live. I know they're going to do some kind of a demonstration of payments. They're live. That should be cool. Lot of big names coming to that conference up in New York. Paul Barron tweeted this out. Bitcoin's year-to-date return was about 32.3%, while Ethereum's was superior at 41, while XRP's was superior to both at 300. Something or 400 and something. At Ethereum's utility and growth prospects over Bitcoin's traditional store of value positioning, how long until ETH flips Bitcoin? Well, I believe ETH will flip Bitcoin, but I think Paul should have had an option 5. XRP flips them both. He's getting these kind of ideas from this guy. You might remember Andrew Keys, but don't worry, I'll remind you who Andrew Keys is, formerly of Consensus.
What do you think Ethereum's price is going to be by this time next year? What's the? Do you have a theory?
I easily think within 5 years, the price of Ether should eclipse the price of Bitcoin, the market cap. So wow. First and foremost, the market cap of Bitcoin will be less than the market cap of Ethereum within 5 years. And I think that we easily have 20 to 100x in the price of Ether. Interesting.
All right. Well, listen.
What's the TAM of the internet?
Yeah, well, exactly. You can't put it on there.
Okay. I know he comes across as arrogant because he is. This is the same guy that was with Consensus from the very beginning where Ethgate was hatched. Okay. This is him saying XRP is a security right after the lawsuit was dropped on Ripple back in 2020. This is him with some guys here being arrogant as usual.
Are other ecosystems, I appreciate your holdings are one thing, but are there other ecosystems that you look to and appreciate certain elements of them? Like Solana, some of the other Sui, say, what have you?
So
Ripple is also a fair, is also a valid response in this podcast. It is a safe space.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, they always have to make some snide comment.
You're not going to get too much on those out of me, unfortunately. I mean, I'll go back to kind of.
That's because you know what we uncovered.
Like, and maybe it's an ETH Maxi response. Like, liquidity begets liquidity. You've got kind of 90% on Ethereum of real assets. You know, Solana can keep the meme coins.
So let me remind you of who this guy is. This right here is the video that broke Ethgate wide open. This is the video where I got on the phone with John Deaton. I said, I got him right here. Had him on speakerphone. This video right here. This is Charles Gasparino on Fox Business back in 2018. This was the beginning of them trying to design their Bitcoin and Ethereum monopoly so that there wouldn't be any other crypto, in my opinion.
But here's what we understand, which is interesting. This
legal crypto
self-regulatory agency could be put through, and I think this is the biggest effort yet, where they have major white shoe law firms they've hired, something known as the Brooklyn Project. They're going to publish best practices and seek government regulation at some point as an SRO, as something along the lines of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. And it's created by two, I would say, industry leaders, a guy named Joe Lubin, Andrew Keys. They are part of something known as Ethereum and Consensus. These are big cryptocurrency blockchain companies. Mm-hmm. They are working on this through this thing known as the Brooklyn Project. They have a lot of sources and friends on Wall Street. This, to me, will be the way that cryptocurrency and blockchain, the technology, gets beyond the sewage rationale. They are going to lead the effort to essentially systematize and rationalize and create a consumer protection organization with blockchain and cryptocurrency and get
a monopoly.
And this is the key thing, because they are working, from what I understand, with the SEC, the CFTC on this, a self-regulatory organization, which will differentiate between stuff that can be regulated as securities, like Bitcoin, and other stuff that you have through blockchain, like computer tech.
They never saw John Deaton and the XRP army coming. Okay, got a lot more. We're going to DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these YouTube videos, or you can join through X by hitting the subscribe button. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family, away we go.